Adamimogo 107.7 FM News. This is an Adamimogo 107.7 FM. Ido-Ekiti, the voice of the light.
The time is 6 o'clock.
A suspected bank robber leading officers.
The presidential candidate of the
News is always on the go, and we get the stories firsthand as they happen, where they happen. We bring the information to you undiluted, verified, accurate, balanced, and without bias. Told from the human angle perspective. We interview the actors and the experts. All facts laid bare. From Nigeria to the rest of the globe, we deliver the news on time and in time. This is News Express on Adamimogo 107.7 FM in Ido-Ekiti.
In the news, President Tinubu visits Nasarawa Commission Key Infrastructure Project in Lafia. INEC begins electoral process, serves party election notice ahead Ekiti 2026 Guba poll. Senate passes 1.485 trillion naira Rivers State 2025 budget. Many thanks for joining us on News Express this evening. I am Oluwabiyi Falodun. Now the news in detail. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu today arrived at the Usman Danfodio Airport in Lafia, Nasarawa State, for a one-day working visit to commission major infrastructure project executed by Governor Abdullahi Sule during his second term in office. During the visit, the president commissioned several key projects, including the Lafia Interchange Flyover and underpass, the new Nasarawa State Secretariat, the dualized Shedam Road in Lafia, as well as operational vehicles for ministries, departments and agencies, security agencies and agricultural equipment. Accompanying the president were the governors of Kaduna, Borno, Kwara, Benue, Imo and Ogun State, alongside with the deputy governor of Gombe, former governors and several serving ministers. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has confirmed receiving letters of intent from 110 associations seeking registration as political parties. Chairman of the Commission, Professor Muhammadu Yakubu, disclosed this today, noting that the requests are being processed in line with the relevant laws and the Commission's regulation and guidelines. Yakubu further refuted claim made by coalition of opposition political leaders that the Commission might not want to register a new political party. According to him, the Commission will treat all requests fairly, irrespective of the status of their promoter, be they ordinary or prominent citizen, adding that Nigerians will fully briefed of the actions taken by the Commission every step of the way. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has said that it has begun processing requests to register all Democratic Alliance, ADA, and other new political parties. This is coming barely 24 hours after the Commission announced that ADA, a platform proposed by a coalition of opposition figures, were yet to meet requirements for registration. In a statement issued by the chairman of the Commission, Professor Muhammad Yakubu, ADA was listed among 110 new parties being considered for registration. The resident electoral commissioner in Ekiti State, Bumi Omosheyin-Demi, has today pledged the Independent National Electoral Commission's commitment to upholding the highest standards of transparency and fairness in all the processes before, during and after the 2026 Ekiti governorship election. Omosheyin-Demi charged political parties in the state to adhere strictly to the rules of engagement, particularly in the conduct of their primaries, submission of candidates, and campaigns in accordance with the Electoral Act and the Commission's guidelines. The REC gave the charge in Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti State capsule, during a meeting with political parties, where he officially served notice of the Ekiti State 2026 governorship election to them. He said that the exercise was in compliance with the Electoral Act, which mandated INEC to issue a notice of election not later than 360 days before the date appointed for election. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) has reinstated Samuel Anyanwu to his position as National Secretary. At a press briefing today, Ambassador Iliya Damangum, the acting national chairman of the party, made the announcement. Damangum, alongside Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed, former Senate President Bukola Saraki, and other key stakeholders, said the decision to reinstate Anyanwu into the National Working Committee (NWC) was challenging, but ultimately accepted by a majority of party leaders led by the party's organ. He also announced the cancellation of the planned NEC meeting, saying, "We would have an expanded caucus. At the next caucus, we'll take a decision leading to a proper NEC." Shehu Gambam says some members of the opposition coalition bent on hijacking the structure of the Social Democratic Party (SDP) wants him out of his position as a national chairman. Recall the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Rufus Ayegbene, announced the suspension of Gambam along with two other NEC members over the accusation of financial mismanagement. However, Gambam, in an interview yesterday, dismissed the suspension as fake news and the result of political mischief.
How do you suspend a national chairman? Where did the meeting take place? No, there's none. It's a fabrication. It's fake. As I'm talking to you today, most of the chairmen are in Abuja in my secretariat. These things are bound to happen. But what I'm telling you is that since somebody petitioned, that petition should go through a diligent process. I have given the go-ahead, even though I've not seen the copy, the security agencies to investigate from beginning to the end of it.
The politician alleged that the opposition coalition gave the SDP a condition to take over the National Working Committee (NWC) of the party ahead of the 2027 poll. Former lawmaker representing Kaduna Central Senatorial District, Shehu Sani, has challenged the opposition parties to resolve their internal crisis and stop accusing President Bola Tinubu of being behind their tussle. Recall the opposition parties, some of which include the People's Democratic Party (PDP), the Labour Party (LP), the New Nigerian People's Party (NNPP), and others, have alleged that the ruling party and Tinubu were masterminding the instabilities in their parties. Reacting to the allegation, Sani, in a televised interview, said it was unfortunate that the opposition in the country was looking up to the president to solve their problems.
It is unfortunate that the opposition in the country are looking up to the president to solve their problems. How logical it is when you have a problem in your house, then you start blaming your neighbor or your adversary for it when you should address it. If there is a problem in the PDP, it is for the PDP to solve. There's a problem in NNPP, it's for the NNPP to solve. Is there a problem in Labour Party or SDP? It's for the SDP and Labour Party to solve. I don't know whether they are also trying to ask the president to come to their party and solve.
The ex-Cardinal lawmaker further maintained that blaming Tinubu for the internal crisis in the opposition is irresponsible and has asked him to fix their issue instead. Senator representing Bonnet South and a former Senate Chief Whip, Aliu Ndume, in a blistering critique of his own party, has warned that the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) is in danger of political implosion due to unprincipled defection and what it described as an increasingly dysfunctional administration. In an interview yesterday, though still a card-carrying APC member, Ndume expressed deep dissatisfaction with the party's trajectory under President Bola Tinubu. According to him, true democracy cannot exist without a strong opposition, something he says both the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and Labour Party have failed to offer meaningfully.
Look at what the Senate or the National Assembly historically is supposed to be a house of deliberation, where people will deliberate on policies of government, actions of government, spendings of government. That we are not doing. We are more of an approving institutions, just giving unnecessary support to the executive. That division of executive, legislature, and judiciary is no longer there. Government have to some extent now be personalized and privatized. I can tell you that I, as a senator, is not quite even abreast of what is going on.
It criticized the growing trend of politicians defecting solely for political survival, arguing that such actions strip the process of credibility and principle. You're listening to the News Express on Adamimogo 107.7 FM, transmitting live from Olojudo's Palace, Ido-Ekiti. After the break, Senate passes 1.485 trillion naira Rivers State 2025 budget.
The Nigerian army has taken custody of two.
Get ready to dive into the latest headlines,
Nigerians deported from the United
in-depth stories, and breaking updates that matter to you.
To face the challenge to be able to fulfill the dream and the aspiration.
From local events to global affairs, we've got you covered. Stay with us as we unravel the stories shaping our world today. This is Adamimogo 107.7 FM News.
Glad to know you're still there. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel via Adamimogo 107.7 FM. For updates around you or news inquiries, please call our newsroom on this number 0915 786 8095. Now to the rest of the bulletin. The Senate has passed the 2025 budget of Rivers State totaling 1.485 trillion naira following the third reading of the appropriation bill on the Senate floor today. The passage came after the upper chamber considered the report of the ad hoc committee on Rivers State during the Committee of Supply session. The bill seeks to authorize the issuance of 1.485 trillion naira from the consolidated revenue funds of Rivers State for the fiscal year ending December 31, 2025. The approved budget breakdown includes 120.8 billion naira for debt servicing, 287.38 billion naira for recurrent expenditure, and 1.77 trillion naira for capital expenditure. The National Forum of Earth of Federal Government Establishment in Nigeria says the 70,000 naira minimum wage has lost its monumentary value and no longer sustainable. Chairman Osun State Chapter of Nahofies Samuel Adekunle stated this today in Osogbo during an interdenominational service to mark the 2025 African Civil Service Week. Speaking with newsmen on the sidelines of the event, Adekunle said high inflation and continuous increase in cost of living has eaten deep into the minimum wage. He added that workers' pain at the deep end because of rising inflation since the minimum wage was signed into law by President Bola Tinubu in July 2024 and the implementation began in September of same year. The Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun has announced the arrest of 26 persons suspected to be masterminds of the killings in Yelwata, Benue State. Addressing a news conference in Abuja yesterday, the IGP said the police were on the heels of other suspects who participated in the Yelwata killings that led to the death of 47 persons. He assured Nigerians that the police are not overwhelmed as they are mopping up light and small weapons illegally acquired by some persons.
I am pleased to inform you today that 26 persons directly connected to this crime have so far been arrested and their weapons recovered. On 19th June 2025, two prime suspects who were masterminds of this attack were apprehended from their hideout. This arrest led to the arrest of 7 other suspects the following day, 20/06/2025.
Egbetokun added that the police is also intensifying its border patrol in order to curtail the influx of irregular migrants into the country. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has raised concerns over the failure to conduct a national census, warning that the absence of accurate population data is undermining the country's security and global credibility. Speaking during an advocacy visit by the Chairman, Senate Committee on Army, Senator Abdulaziz Yadoua, and members of the civil society group Yaga Africa, the CDS underscored that addressing foundational issues such as censors and porous borders is essential for strengthening national security and for other countries to take Nigeria seriously.
Censors, people say no, it's because of policy. I say no, we cannot allow because of that, because it's affecting our security. And for us in the security forces, we're not having it easy. Abroad, why is it that when somebody commits an offense, it's easier for them to arrest? It's because there's data. It's either they get your thumbprint or they get your face or they have your address, your name. They can always choose who you are. Can we say the same thing for Nigeria? Do we know who are the Nigerians? Our borders are closed. Anybody can come in and go out and do at will. So I think, again, in order for this to work, we must be able to bring a comprehensive census so that we have that. And then it will also aid diaspora voting.
It further underlined the need for a comprehensive national census, suggesting that modern technology and ICT could be leveraged to reduce the financial and logistic burden of continuous voters and population registrations. Troops of the Nigerian Army have killed scores of bandits after an attack on Banji community in Mariga local government area of Niger State. Recall bandit had yesterday launched an attack on the community, prompting a swift military response, utilizing land and air component to eliminate the bandits. Army spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Apollonia Anelli said in a statement today that the operation against the bandits was based on credible intelligence, which led to troops engaging about 300 armed bandits in Kwana Duse Forest.
In various parts of the country, recurring reports of banditry and violent attacks, calls for civilian self-defense have increased across Nigeria as many communities feel abandoned by security forces and seek alternate means of protection. According to Amnesty International, in the last 2 years,
security experts have expressed caution over the growing calls for civilian self-defense in Nigeria, questioning its safety and long-term implications for national stability. Amid rising insecurity and frequent attacks across the country, many communities now feel neglected by the security forces and are turning to self-help measures. In this report, Adamimogo FM Oladoyin Ayebusi examines the perspective of key security experts on the matter.
Worsening insecurity in various parts of the country, recurring reports of banditry and violent attacks, calls for civilian self-defense have increased across Nigeria as many communities feel abandoned by security forces and seek alternate means of protection. According to Amnesty International, in the last 2 years, at least 10,217 people have been killed in attacks by gunmen in Benue, Edo, Katsina, Kebbi, Plateau, Sokoto, and Zamfara State, with 6,896 killed in Benue, 2,630 killed in Plateau, and at least 338 villages sacked by bandits in Zamfara State. Amid these alarming figures, prominent Nigerians such as former Minister of Defense, Lieutenant General Theophilus Yakubu Danjuma, has since 2018 consistently advocated civilian self-defense as a measure to curb the worsening insecurity across Nigeria. Although self-defense may appear to be a logical response to persistent insecurity, it also raises concern about safety, legality, and potential misuse. A security expert, Okasomi Ajayi, warned that encouraging self-defense could lead to breakdown of law and order. Instead, he advocated for the Nigerian police to be well equipped with state-of-the-art technology to effectively combat the growing insecurity.
Nigeria is not matured enough to be very dangerous. It's going to be most advantageous to Nigeria as a nation. We live in Nigeria that is peaceful to a very stable level. Why is it now that we have a lot of technology and enlightenment that Nigerian police is finding difficult to fight crime? The government should sufficiently fund the security agencies, especially the Nigerian police, to modernize crime-fighting equipment.
Emphasizing the need for cooperative efforts between security agencies and local communities, the Director General Coalition of Nigerian Youth on Security and Safety Affairs, Ambassador Ade Emmanuel, stated that self-defense is not a viable solution.
The way these attacks are being carried out is not a local intelligence. This gap between security agencies and young people are properly bridged, there will be an effective flow of information. And where security agencies need to act and they are not quickly acting, the young people within that community can quickly bring themselves on board.
According to a former public relations officer, Nigerian Police Force, Tilio Ikoro, Nigeria cannot afford to institutionalize self-defense. However, he acknowledged that communities facing security threat can adopt strategic and lawful measures to protect themselves, noting that existing laws allow such actions within legal boundaries.
In the context of Nigeria today, that may not be feasible because the government that we have has no proper planning for lives and property. You don't need anyone to tell you to use gun against gun. The Constitution permits self-defense. You don't need anyone to tell you what to do. If you think self-defense is good for you, do that. Don't wait for anyone to tell you what to do.
Despite these concerns, it is hoped and believed that the Nigerian government will do all possible to ensure that funding the Nigerian security agencies can strengthen the nation's security and rebuild public confidence. Oluwabiyi Falodun reporting.
On business, MultiChoice cuts DSTV decoder price by 50% to attract subscribers. Oluwabiyi Falodun is on standby.
Good evening and welcome to Business News. MultiChoice Nigeria has slashed the price of its DSTV decoder by 50%, dropping it from 20,000 naira to 10,000 naira. The company announced that the move aimed to attract more customers and curb declining subscriptions. According to the firm's chief executive officer, John Ugbe, in a statement released yesterday, the offer was a way of rewarding customer loyalty and delivering enhanced value to subscribers. Still on the business news, Dangote Cement PLC shareholders have approved a final dividend of 30 naira per share for the 2024 financial year. This amounts to a total payout of 506.21 billion naira, representing a dividend yield of 6.81% based on the current share price of 440 naira. A total of 353 out of 360 shareholders voted in favor of the payout at the company's 16th annual general meeting held on June 23rd, 2025 in Lagos. Board directors Aliko Dangote, Ernest Ebi, and Shankar Charlie Blair and Darad Zagwani were reappointed following their retirement by rotation. In addition, shareholders approved an annual remuneration of 20 million naira for the chairman and 15 million naira each for the executive director for the year ending December 2025. And that's all on business news on Adamimogo 107.7 FM, Ido-Ekiti.
On foreign, Israeli attacks kill at least 51 as Trump signals progress in Gaza talks. Joel Ogbue is standing by.
Good evening and welcome to the foreign scene. Marches in Kenya to mark a year since massive anti-government demonstration turned violent today as protesters engaged in running battles with police who flooded the streets with tear gas and sealed off government buildings with barbed wire. Report says at least 60 people were killed last year by security forces in weeks of protests over tax rises and the dire economic situations for young Kenyans. Activists and families of victims have insisted on peaceful anniversary marches, but others called to occupy State House, referring to the official residence of President William Ruto, and many schools and businesses were closed for fear of unrest. Latest reports say at least one police officer and several protesters were injured as initially peaceful marches of thousands turned chaotic. Still on the foreign scene, Israeli attacks have killed at least 51 people in the Gaza Strip, including 14 Palestinians who were waiting near aid distribution centers, even as United States President Donald Trump said great progress is being made to bring an end to the war. Medical sources at Al-Hada and Al-Hassan Matai hospitals in Gaza told newsmen that at least 9 Palestinians were killed and several others injured by Israeli fire early today while waiting for aid near the Nazarene Junction in central Gaza. The deaths are the latest in the wave of violence near aid distribution points established late last month by the controversial Israel and US-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, GHF. That is all on foreign news this evening. My name is Joel Ogbue.
On entertainment, DJ Flo reveals why she cut ties with Ruti on BB Nigeria Season 9 reunion. Jemima Fataya has the story.
Good evening and welcome to Entertainment News. BB Naija No Lose Guard housemate DJ Flo has opened up about the split of her decade-long friendship with her former pair Ruthie, revealing she cannot engage in conflict on her behalf. Speaking during the BB Naija No Lose Guard episode reunion, which began airing on June 23, 2025, Ebuka Obi-Uchendu questioned DJ Flo about the fallout with Ruthie and the reason behind it. DJ Flo revealed that her ex-friend Ruthie understood her stance as they had conversations before coming on on the show, knowing that she would not respond to drama even when it involves her. She stated that the final straw came when Ruthie granted an interview, making comments about her that left her disheartened. Still on entertainment. Popular Nigerian socialite Cubana Chief Priest has filed a defamation lawsuit against his alleged baby mama, Ellen Ati, in Kenya. Recall that it all started in 6 months when Kenyan woman accused Chief Priest of not taking responsibility for their 2-year-old son. Speaking in a video on social media, Ellen alleged that a short romantic encounter with Chief Priest in April 2022 led to their son's pregnancy. According to her, all attempts made to reach him after giving birth proved abortive because he had blocked her on all channels of communication. In response, Cubana, who had denied the allegation, insisted that they had never met before. However, in a Facebook post yesterday, a Nigerian lawyer popularly known as DPA Family Clinic shared a defamation suit filed by the Nigerian against Ellen in Kenya. And that's all on entertainment news. My name is Jemima Fateh.
On sports, Nigerian winger Moses Simon has joined Paris FC from fellow French club Nantes. As announced by the capital city outfit today, Simon, 29, has signed a 3-year deal with the Parisian as they prepare for their first season in the French top flight since 1997-98. Simeon joined the newly promoted side from the Nantes in a deal worth €7 million. With that sports story, we end the edition of News Express on Adamimogo 107.7 FM. Just before we go, the highlight is
Adamimogo 107.